I did a poll recently, I think it was on my YouTube channel, where I was asking what is the topic that you're struggling the most as a guitar player. And of all the topics that I wrote, 2 of them have the most votes, improvisation and fretboard knowledge. So let's do a lesson about this. We're going to talk about one concept that I think for me personally is one of the best ways to get good at improvisation and actually understand the fretboard too, the CAGED system. And today we're going to talk about just one shape in particular, the G shape. On the other guitar blocks in the future, we're going to discuss the other shapes. So let's see how much information we can get out of the G shape. Now, first of all, the first thing you want to understand with the CAGED system is that it's just a method, a really effective one, of learning the 7 notes of the major scale all over the fretboard. There are many other methods to learn the 7 notes all over the fretboard, right? For example, 3 notes per string. You can also use the pentatonic, right? You will limit yourself to 5 notes, but for me personally, the most effective one is the CAGED system. So now, how does the CAGED system work? It's simple. The only thing we're doing is taking our open chords, in this case C major, A major, G major, E major, and D major. We're going to bring them up the neck, and we're just going to complete the scale by adding 4 more notes. Just think about it. An open major chord has 3 notes, right? Because it's a triad. And the major scale has 7 notes. So the only thing we're doing is bringing each one of these shapes higher on the neck to a different key, because we have 12 keys in music. And we are just adding 4 more notes and creating a shape to actually learn how to play the 7 notes in that specific part of the guitar. So how do we play the G shape? Of course, the first thing that we need is a G major chord, right? Now here we're just playing 3 notes, right? The Do, Mi, and Sol. But we actually are playing on the guitar 6 strings, right? We have the 6th string playing the root, then we have the A string playing the 3rd, then we have the open D, that is the 5th, then we have the open G, that is the root, then we have the open B, that is the major 3rd, and we have the root again. So pay attention to strings 2, 3, and 4. I have 3 open strings here. Right? Now, if I bring this G major chord a whole step up to A, right? Now, this is really uncomfortable, that's why I don't like this shape so much. You need to actually bar with your finger on strings 2, 3, and 4, because before we were playing those strings open, right? And now I have an A major chord using the G shape. It's a little bit uncomfortable, right? But here now I have on these strings 2, 3, and 4, I have the A major triad. That is our classic open A chord, right? That we learned, right? So even though I'm playing a crazy shape here over A, I'm actually just playing 3 notes, the root, the 3rd, and the 5th, right? Now, for this example, we're going to go to the key of C. So what we need is the G shape in the key of C. So we're going to take this shape all the way up to the note C, that is on the 8th fret of the lowest string, right here. Now I have a C major chord using the G shape. It's a little bit uncomfortable to play, right? And again, the main reason that I picked this shape was because usually when we learn this shape, we don't learn it like this. We actually learn it like this, starting from actually the lowest note of the shape, that is an A note, right? When you go to Google and you type how to play a minor scale on the guitar, you're actually going to get this shape. Right? Because this is the lowest note that you can play on that shape, right? And also this shape is so close to our classic first position A minor pentatonic. Try to understand that I'm not talking about scales yet. I'm talking about a shape, right? The name of the scale appears whenever you decide which note is going to be your starting note. Remember, I think I've said that before, but the major scale is not symmetric. It doesn't just move by half steps or whole steps. It's moved by whole, half, whole, half, right? That's the formula of the major scale. So depending what note you start, the name of the scale is going to change. The 2 easiest names that we know is the major scale and the minor scale, right? And then you have 5 other Greek names like Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, and Locrian. So again, think about this. So far, it's just a shape. If I start from A, this shape is the A minor scale. If I start from C, it's the C major scale. Right now, because we're talking about the CAGED system, this is actually going to be a C major scale, right? My lowest note is going to be C. So this is going to sound like a C major scale. But again, if I actually go to the lowest note of the shape, A, I'm actually going to have an A minor scale. In music, everything is relative, right? You relate everything to something and you will have a different name. In this case, this same shape can be actually 7 other scales, right? That's where the famous modes start. All right? So For now, this is going to be the C major scale. Now, what can we do inside this shape? Let's think about it as a scale. You can actually practice it by intervals, right? There are many ways that you can play a scale. You can play by intervals of thirds, fifth, sixth, seventh, fourths, you decide. For example, using intervals of thirds, you will have these. You can try another interval. Right now, again, it's a scalar practice, right? You can try another interval, maybe fifths. That will sound something like this. Now, I need to warm up a little bit for that one, but you get the idea, right? You can practice intervals. Again, this is just a scalar practice, all right? The next thing that you can do here is think about triads. Now, we're playing the C major scale using the G shape. So the first thing that you can do is actually find all the C majors that you can inside this shape. Let me show you what I mean. We're going to play triads without doubling any note. So far, we have this crazy G shape playing a C major chord, right? But I can actually play C major on strings 4, 5, and 6, 3, 4, and 5, 2, 3, and 4. Right? They're all inside the shape. I have C major root position, C major first inversion, and C major second inversion. I can go a step further by playing spread triads, right? I can actually go here, C major first inversion, spread triad. And I can actually go here, C major second inversion, spread triad. Now, this is great for improvisation because if I'm playing a solo, right, and a G major chord is coming, and I'm playing around this shape, again, 7 notes, I know where the chord tones of G major are going to be. I know where the 3 notes of G major are. So this is great for starting point and even greater for my finishing point. Where is my phrase going to finish if I'm playing over a G major chord? That's the key to improvisation, following the chords and knowing where to rest, right? It's important to rest your phrase on a chord tone of the chord, whatever chord is being played. This is what I think for me the blues is great for improvisation, right? You have a fixed structure that never changes, right? You have a 1 chord that stays for 4 bars, so there is enough time to play around. And then you have, the next chord that is the 4 chord, right? 2 bars, so you have time to actually think about the changes. I think we as guitar players, even though if we don't know music theory, we understand when the changes of the blues are happening because so many songs, are inspired by the blues. So our ear is used to hearing the changes, right? It can get a little bit harder with like jazz or pop, the chords change a little bit faster, But again, that's the key for improvisation. Follow the chords, look for that silence, and make your last note of the phrase a chord tone of whatever chord is being played. The next approach is going to be to harmonize the scale using triads. In this case, we're in the key of C. So my chords are going to be C major, my 1 chord, D minor, my 2 chord, E minor, my 3 chord, F major, my 4 chord, G major, the 5 chord, A minor, the 6 chord, and B diminished, the 7 chord. Let's see how many ways we can try to do this. Again, inside the G shape, right? So we have C major, the 1 chord here, second inversion, strings 2, 3, and 4. I can go to this D minor, second inversion, again, strings 2, 3, and 4. I can go to this E minor, first inversion, again, strings 2, 3, and 4. I can go to this F major, 4 chord, first inversion, 2, 3, and 4. I can go to this G major. This is a little bit tricky because I don't want to leave the shape. So I'm going to go to strings 1, 2, and 3 here. Second inversion, G major. Then maybe 1, 2, 3, E minor, the 6th chord. Then I'm going to go to B diminished, and I'm going to finish on C major. So that was my first approach, right? Let me show it to you one more time, a little bit faster. C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, B diminished, and C major. Now let's try a second approach, maybe a little bit lower on the guitar. How about here? C major, first inversion, strings 3, 4, and 5. 2, D minor, first inversion, 3, 4, and 5, E minor, root position, to F major, root position. Then I'm going to go to this G major, second inversion, A minor, second inversion, and And for B diminished, maybe I need to do spread triad here. If not, I'm going to lift the shape. So I'm going to go root, fifth, and then third, an octave higher. And then I'm back on C major. Now for the B diminished, the 7th chord, right? I needed to play a spread triad. If not, I was going to have this shape. And this F note is leaving the shape, right? So what I did is I played the root, the 5th, and the 3rd, an octave higher. And all these notes are still inside the G shape. So one more time, C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A major, B diminished spread, back to C major. Okay, the next step. Let's try to harmonize the major scale using 7th chords. Now here I need to be a little bit more creative, right? I have a 4-note chord this time, but I think I'm gonna be able to harmonize the scale inside the shape. So let's start with the 1 chord, C major 7. I have one here, right? Strings 1, 2, 3, and 4. I have one here too. It's a little bit harder to play, right? But all these notes are still inside the G shape. D minor 7, I can play this one here, or I can play this one, our classic shape that we all learned, right? Then we have E minor 7. I can play here. I can also play here. Or I can play here. Then we have F major 7. And I think for this chord, I can just play it here. I'm just trying to find ways to play an A minor triad. Because again, an F major chord is just an A minor triad. Strings 2, 3, and 4. With the bass on A, right? But every other way, I think either one note or the other note are going to leave the shape. For example, A minor is here, but I put my bass on F and I'm leaving the shape, right? Or A minor is here, bass on F, I'm outside of the shape too. So I think for the G shape, F major 7, I have this chord here, just one option. Now for G7, I think I have more than one option. I can actually play this one, I can play this one, and I can bring that B note, right, to the bass, and I can have this shape. Now A minor 7, the 6th chord, I can actually play this one, strings 1, 2, and 3. Or again, I can bring that A note on the first string to the bass, and I have this shape. And for B minor 7 flat 5, I just bring the A minor 7 a whole step up, and I bring the 5th half step down, because a minor 7 flat 5 is no more than a minor 7 chord with the 5th half step down. And I have this shape. And again, I can bring that B note to the bass, and I have this shape. So again, you should be able to harmonize the scale inside a shape using triads and 7th chords. Now this is great because you can take any chord progression and try to play it inside the shape. For example, if I want to play a classic, 2-5-1 inside the G shape, I will have D minor 7 as my 2 chord, I will have G7 as my 5 chord, and I will have C major 7 as my 1 chord. Right? Easy. If I want to expand that chord progression, I want to go 3-6-2-5-1. Okay, I have E minor 7 as my 3 chord. I got A minor 7 as my 6th chord. I have D minor 7 as my 2 chord. I have G7 as my 5 chord, and I have C major 7 as my 1 chord. Let's say I want to play a classic 1-4-5, right? That should be easy too. I'm going to change of strings now. I'm going to go to this C major 7, to F major 7, to G7, back to C major 7. Now you can take these harmony concepts a little bit further. So what I like to do here is harmonize the major scale, but using a pedal note as a melody. And let me show you what I mean. I'm gonna take this G note as my melody, right? G is it's a note inside the C major scale, it's the 5th. And what I'm gonna try to do is harmonize the C major scale, but always using this G note as my pedal note, as my melody note, right? So the 1 chord is gonna be C major, right? Now with G on my melody, I just have a C major triad. But the 2 chord is gonna be D minor, and I don't wanna lift the shape, so I'm gonna use this D minor first inversion with that G on the melody. Now what chord do we have here? This chord I think is more commonly known as an F6-9. Right? In this case, F becomes the root, then the A note is the 3rd, then the D note is the 6th, and that G note is the 9th. Right? So you can say that D minor first inversion triad with G on the melody is going to give you an F6-9. It's a little bit nerdy, that chord, but that's what you get. But at the end, it's just a D minor triad, and And the exercise is to keep the G note on the melody, right? I'm just trying to name the chords because for me, that's fun too, right? The next chord is going to be the free chord. And in the key of C, that's going to be E minor. So E minor and the melody on G is going to give me this chord. That this is no more than a C major 7, right? I got the major 3rd, the 5th, major 7, and the 5th again. Next chord is going to be F major, right? With the bass, with the melody on G, is going to give me an F at 9. Here I have the F major triad again, root, 3rd, 5th, and I have the 9. That G is the 9 of F, right? The next chord is going to be G major, and I'm going to use a spread triad here, right? I'm taking this classic first inversion, right? The Hendrix triad, I'm bringing that 5th an octave higher. So I have 3rd, root, 5th, and root again. That's that G note again. Right? Next chord is going to be A minor, and I'm going to use this triad, right? Second inversion, strings 3, 4, and 5. And I have again that G on the melody. And then I'm going to go to this B diminished triad, again spread triad, right? To play B diminished with the melody on G. And to finish, I'm going to go back to C major. Again, I'm harmonizing the C major scale inside the G shape. And I'm using this pedal note, G note, as my melody note for every chord. So at the end, I end up with something like this. All right, guys, I hope you find those ideas useful. See you next time. Bye-bye.